You've been lied to, not by the market, not by your competitors, but by the very numbers you obsess over every single day. They say track everything, make data your god, follow the metrics like they hold the secret to success. But that's a trap, a cage disguised as clarity. Because here's the brutal truth. Most metrics everyone else fixates on, they're distractions. They are illusions sold as gospel to keep you busy, to keep you compliant, to keep you trapped where everyone else is. While you drown in numbers, the real story slips right through your fingers. You feel it, don't you? That suffocating weight of being overwhelmed by stats that don't move the needle, reports that don't tell you what's really happening, goals that feel more like shackles than fuel. You've spent hours, maybe days, buried in dashboards, chasing vanity numbers that spike and crash like a fake heartbeat. All that engagement, those impressions, the likes that look good but don't pay the bills. Every ping of a notification is supposed to be a victory, but beneath it, there's this gnawing emptiness, this whisper that says, this isn't it. This isn't how you win. Not really, because the truth is raw and simple. The best marketers know what no one else seems to get. The most common metrics are noise, the bright flashing lights in your peripheral that draw your eyes while the real game moves in shadows. They avoid what everyone blindly chases because they've learned the hard way that tracking the wrong things kills creativity faster than any competitor ever could. Those numbers force you into a herd mindset, limit your vision, stifle the radical ideas that could blow the roof off your industry. You don't become exceptional by measuring what everyone else measures. You become exceptional by breaking the mold, by going where the crowd dares not venture. But that requires rejecting the comfort of easy answers and the safety of popular indicators. It's terrifying to let go of those metrics, the ones that delivered you the illusion of control. But control isn't about certainty in numbers. It's about mastering what matters, seeing beneath the surface, and betting on bold moves where no one else sees the risk or the reward. The top players don't obsess over click rates or bounce rates or followers they can't really reach. They obsess over alignment, how well their message resonates with the people who matter most. Not everyone, not most, but the rare few who are perfect matches. Those connections, those real sparks, they can't be boiled down into traditional stats. You have to feel them. You have to cultivate them. And that's how true growth builds. Quiet, deep, deliberate, impossible to fake. Imagine how it feels to drop the burden of chasing meaningless data and instead focus fiercely on the signals that matter. Customer stories that whisper unmet needs, deep conversations that unveil hidden desires, thoughtful experiments that reveal truths about your brand's soul. These are the insights that shift cascades, that ignite revolutions, that build legacies. Imagine what it means to stop playing the numbers game designed to trap you in mediocre results and start playing the connection game, where quality trumps quantity, authenticity crushes fluff, and your audience becomes your advocates, your partners, your tribe. But maybe you've tried this before and hit walls, because the world is against the exceptional. Systems designed for the masses drown out radical ideas. Safe metrics drown out disruptive moves. You feel boxed in, screaming in silence, misunderstood by colleagues who worship their spreadsheets and investors who demand predictable growth curves. That isolation, that frustration, it's not a personal failure. It's the system fighting to keep you small, to keep you safe in the average. Yet the best marketers don't plead to fit in. They refuse to play by rules that were never meant to serve them. They craft their own rules, break their own ground, and find their own language beyond the metrics everyone else worships. How do they do it? First, by ruthlessly shedding metrics that don't fuel insight, that only feed anxiety. That means saying no to vanity data that inflates your ego but shrivels your impact. It means refusing to be seduced by followers or likes that rarely translate into real influence or revenue. Instead, they track real conversation, real influence, real loyalty. The kind that grows over time, nurtured by consistent value and authentic engagement. They seek qualitative feedback, not just clicks, but emotions, not just reach, but real resonance. They observe how their message lives in the wild, in the hearts of their real customers, not just on the screens. And second, the best marketers don't just track what happened, they look for what could happen. They use data to imagine new possibilities, not to justify yesterday's mistakes. They layer intuition on top of numbers, blending analytical insight with human understanding. They know no metric is perfect. All numbers miss the human behind the screen. So they test relentlessly, innovate without fear, and read the market's pulse on their own terms. They create experiments that don't just seek better numbers, but uncover hidden truths, truths no chart can ever fully capture. They skate on the edge of chaos, deliberately avoiding the comfort of predictable metrics, because that's where breakthroughs live. Think about the power this unlocks. When no one else is looking, when the dashboard goes dark, you're lighting fires where others see only shadows. When your focus sharpens not on the broad, noisy crowd, but on tiny clusters of passionate believers, evangelists, collaborators, you tap into the rare but unstoppable force of true connection, the kind that doesn't bend to market pressures or fade with trends, the force that makes brands legendary, that builds movements, that shapes futures. That is why the best marketers avoid the metrics everyone else tracks. They understand that chasing the herd just leads to a stampede off the cliff, but walking with the few who share your fierce fire leads to new worlds. So, if you're stuck, overwhelmed, wondering why all your data isn't translating into impact, here's a radical invitation. Let go. Fight the urge to measure everything. Find the story behind the data. Dive into the questions that numbers can't answer. Build relationships instead of reports. Chase signals instead of likes. Prioritize growth that can't be neatly charted but can be palpably felt in your brand's energy, in your customer's belief, in your team's fire. This isn't easy and it's not quick. But it's the only way to break free from the mediocrity trap and claim the extraordinary life you were meant to lead. This is the rebellion of marketing that refuses to be shackled by comfort, status quo, or superficial success. It's the marketing of the firebrands, the misfits, the adventurers who refuse to live a borrowed life and instead forge new realities from chaos and uncertainty. Because those who only chase what the crowd tracks will remain just that, followers of a false freedom, prisoners of the everyday illusion. But those who dare to look beyond the numbers, to listen deeper than the noise, to trust their gut over the graphs, those are the ones who change the game forever. You don't need approval. You don't need validation from outdated benchmarks set by those who fear change. You need conviction, clarity, the courage to stop measuring what's easy and start measuring what's real. Because real growth, real marketing, real leadership, that's not a formula you can paste in spreadsheets. It's a dance you create, a story you tell, a world you build from the edges, not from the center. So ignite that fire inside. Reject the fake comfort of common metrics. Embrace the messy, bold, human truths beneath the surface. Build your own map, find your own true north, and let the herd scatter behind you. Because greatness is not found in the crowd. It's born with the few who refuse to settle, who refuse to track the easy lies, who refuse to play small. This is your moment to stop following and start creating. To stop measuring the world others see and start shaping the world you believe in. To stop counting numbers and start counting impact. And when you do, the difference won't just show in your reports. It will echo in every connection you make, every life you touch, and every impossible breakthrough you ignite. Forget the metrics that don't move you. Embrace the movement of those who see the future differently. The future isn't found in what's already tracked. It's found in what's bravely uncovered when you dare to look beyond the numbers.